I'm like in the studio as we speak right now.
You are?
Yeah, that's where I'm
Are you
I'm
on a
at.
phone right now? Can I see around in there?
It's on my laptop, but
Oh, okay.
I can
Don't mean to
it's
be a pain in your ass. Ah, that's really cool.
a bunch of guitars and amps and stuff. Yeah.
Nice. So that's what you've been up to the last little bit, just writing.
Yeah. I mean, we just got home from tour like 2 days ago, so I'm still a
Hmm.
little bit jet lagged from Europe, but getting back into it today.
Yeah, you guys played Slam Dunk, right? How was that? The videos that I saw looked insane.
It was great. It was really good. I mean, we haven't really been. This is our first time kind of getting back out on the road since the whole pandemic started. So everything feels really new. Like we haven't been over to Europe in 2.5 years, pretty much. So it was cool to get back.
Do you find people are more excited than you remember to be back at live shows again?
I don't know. It's hard to tell because I think with the sort of nature of our kind of music, it's really energetic. So the crowds are always kind of crazy anyway. I don't know if they're more crazy, but it just kind of feels like, in some ways, it feels like there's been no time lost. Like it just feels like once you get back at it, it's like, we've, that the 2 years just kind of like you forget about.
So are you doing anything different or do you have a different mindset coming back off those 2 years? I know you said it's like no time lost, but how are you feeling getting back up on stage? It's got to feel great.
Yeah, there are some things that feel different. I think one of the big things, there's two different things for me. One is for some reason, just was not enjoying playing guitar as much on stage as I used to. So I kind of just ditched it and I just started singing a little bit more.
Mhm.
And I found that like I just had, I don't know, it was just a weird feeling of like, I felt like I had so much energy that the guitar was kind of like anchoring me down that I wanted to just get up and move around because maybe it's because we haven't played in so long. I don't know what it was. I wanted to run around and I had so much energy. I was so excited and the guitar was like an anchor. So I kind of got rid of it and was able to just run around the stage more. And it kind of feels like the show is a lot different now.
Really? So you're preferring it that way right now, clearly then.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
That's
Yeah, it's
cool.
really cool. And then the other thing I think that was different is that, and I kind of already have this mentality, but it really sort of solidified it for me once it happened, is like the last show that we played before the pandemic, we weren't really expecting that to be the last show, right? Like we were just coming home for a week or two and we were going to go back out. So it's that thing of like, you really never know what your last show is going to be. So you might as well try to make it as enjoyable as possible. Because yeah, you just never know.
That's very fair. I think all of us thought it was going to be like a 2 week thing, a 3 week thing, and then next thing you know, 2 years later, here we are, right?
Totally.
So this new album you guys are writing, I read something about two separate themes for two separate sides. Can you elaborate on that? I think that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's a double album. It's called Heaven and Hell, and one side, the Heaven side, is more like old school Sum 41, what you would call pop punk, I guess, and the Hell side is the heavy side. That's like sort of our, like we've been doing heavy music for a long time, but we do sort of have different styles throughout our career. So the whole thing was kind of an accident. It wasn't really intentional. I just ended up with some of these kind of songs that I liked, and when I listened to them all, like when I was writing a lot of these songs, I didn't necessarily think I was writing an album. I was just writing songs. Some of these songs I was writing, I thought were for other people. Some of this pop punk stuff, I thought I was going to give it away. People were asking me if I could write with other artists, and they were, just asking if I had any songs. So I just said, well, I'll get some together. And when I wrote them, I was like, I like them. I don't want to give these away. I don't know what I'll do with them, but I'll hold on to them. And then I had some heavy songs that I thought maybe for a new record and just some stuff I've been working on. I thought one day I just put it all on a disc and I drove around listening to it all, trying to figure out what to do with it all. And as I listened to it all in a row, it just kind of sounded like, well, this is a kind of a cool album and a different sort of thing that we've ever done. And that became exciting. And, it wasn't just my idea though. The thing that solidified it for me was I thought, okay, I'm just going to send all this music to the other guys in the band and just see what they think. I'm not going to say it's for a record. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say, here's some songs I've been working on. And one by one, each band member would either text me, email me, or call me and say, what do you think about doing a double album? And they all had the same idea. So you when that stuff happens, it's like, okay, that's the idea. We're all coming to the same conclusion, then that's what we got to do.
Sort of instant chemistry on that then, hey? Everyone was on the same page.
Yeah, yeah, we were all on the same page, and it just made a lot of sense. So we just said, okay, well then I guess we're doing a double album then, and we'll go record these things.
I can't wait to hear it. That's such a cool concept. I love that idea.
I think it's pretty cool too. I mean, that it became exciting, and I like that it was not intentional.
Hmm.
It just sort of the idea presented itself to us.
A lot more authentic and like genuine in that aspect, I suppose. Because like you said, you didn't even know if it was going to be a single, your music, someone else's music.
It was just music to write music, and it's really coming from like an honest, pure place. It wasn't trying to do anything.
Hmm. What you just said there just made me kind of wonder about this. Have you ever given someone a song and regretted it?
I haven't really given too many songs away.
Mhm.
I've almost given some songs away, and I've been talked out of it. It was on our last record, a song called Never There, and it's like a ballad song. And I was writing it for somebody else, and I was about to send it, and my manager came by to hear some of the new songs I've been working on. I played him all the new songs, but I didn't play him that one. At the very end, he was about to leave my house, and I said, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to send this song to so and so." I'm not going to say the artist,
Yeah.
but I just wanted you to know. And he goes, well, let me hear that song. And I'm like, it's not for Sum 41. It would never work on this album, but you can hear it anyway. So he listened to it and he goes, that song, you're not giving that song away. That song belongs on this album. I'm like, it's a ballad song. This album's a lot heavier. It doesn't make any sense. And he goes, it's like the heaviest song in a different way. It's so emotional. So once he said that, I was like, oh, wow, I guess you're right. Now, I didn't give it away, so I don't regret it. But if I had given that song away, I might have regretted that because it
Yeah.
became a song for us that a lot of our fans really like, and it means a lot to people. It means a lot to me. It was a very personal song, but it could, it can work for somebody else because it's, music can be interpreted in so many different ways.
Relatable, right?
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, it would have been cool to hear somebody else do it, but I think I like singing it myself. So,
Okay, I brought something with me. I want to talk to you about this work of art today.
okay.
I wanted to know how you feel because this came out in '01, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Looking back on this and knowing that this has stood the test of time, and knowing that when I play Fat Lip at a party, for example, the whole place goes nuts. How does that feel all this time later?
I think I'm just sort of realizing that now, because it was the 20th anniversary last year, and I had to do a lot of interviews. A lot of people brought that record up, and I hadn't really thought about the record. I didn't really think it meant anything to people anymore. I mean, it was just sort of. I'm just hearing about this kind of stuff right now. To me, it was just a record we made, and I know when we play those songs live, like when we play Fat Lip, the whole crowd still goes crazy, and it's one of my favorite songs to play. Other than that, I don't really think about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's very cool when people bring that up and mention it. But like I said, it's kind of a new thing that I haven't really wrapped my head around too much yet.
Sort of surreal in that way that
Yeah,
it really
definitely.
impacted people that much.
Yeah, well, the fact that it's come around 20 something years later and people are still talking about it is kind of crazy to me. I never really even felt like it was that great when we made the record. I thought there was some stuff I liked on it, but we really made that record kind of quick and just we had to get something out. For us, making records, and somewhat still to this day, it's kind of like the necessary evil to just get back out on the road because all we have ever cared about is playing live. So you have to have a new record to go play live. So let's just quickly make something and get back out there. The real important part of being in the band is being on stage. That's how we've always looked at it. So it's like, okay, let's get some songs out so we can get back out there and be a real band.
So I want to get sentimental for a sec and running the
Okay.
risk of making you and I both feel old here.
Okay.
You guys were my very first concert ever.
Okay.
I saw you at a SARS benefit show in Toronto in '03.
I remember that. The
Yeah,
Sky.
and I was like 7 years old, and I remember
Oh,
it like
wow.
it was yesterday for real. Like, you guys ignited something in me, and
Really?
look now, like a trajectory. I love going to shows. Have a career in rock radio. It's just crazy, and I wanted to know if there was ever an instance for you where you remember that fire being lit within you. Maybe you saw someone on stage, or there was a certain event where you're like, "This is what life's about. This is it."
Yes Yes and no. I mean, that sort of fire for music for me was sort of just always there,
Mhm.
like from as long as I can remember, probably about 6 years old. So I hadn't really seen concerts that like changed my life yet or anything. Um, but along the way, when I did start going to see shows, there were shows that kind of changed the way I looked at being in a band and like what we were going to do and what we would become. I remember going to see Beck in 1997 on the Odelay tour, and that was just such a like it was such a big show. It wasn't like a concert that I've been to. I've been to a bunch of mostly punk rock shows, local shows, and thought that was a concert. And I went to go see Beck, and he had all this like there's choreographed moves, and like it was a whole big party on stage. There's so many people on stage, and I'd never seen James Brown before, but that's what it felt like I was watching, like this performer doing something, and it just blew my mind. And that's when I realized for the first time that because, like I said, I'd only really been to punk rock shows, and that's what we thought we were going to be like on stage. And that was the first time I came back to the guys. I was like, we need to put on a show. We don't just go and play like what all these bands do that we are part of in this local punk rock scene. We need to put on a show. We started adding trampolines on stage and adding all this stuff that we would do back then, choreographed moves. And we started adding our own little pyro, like having back in those days, nobody seemed to stop you. We used to just light stuff on fire and throw, like shoot off like flares from our guitars indoors, like, and no one cared. But anyways, it all came from going to see that show. Made me realize you got to put on a show, not just go perform and play your instruments.
Make it a whole experience type of thing.
Yeah, and that's never left me. If anything, it grows, as we go on.
Okay, so let's talk about July 14th at Budweiser Stage with All Time Low. That's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a pretty big show. I know a lot of people are really excited about it locally.
Oh,
If someone's
cool.
never seen Sum 41, what would you
Mm-hmm.
tell them to expect?
Well, number one, I think the set list we play is we always try to play the songs that we think that everyone's going to know. We don't really do stuff that's like really just for us, and it's like really random stuff. We really like to. I realized this a long time ago that what I get out of performing is not necessarily like I just need to go up and express my artistic freedom and play songs that mean something to me. What I get out of a concert is seeing people with just joy. I like seeing people's faces light up when a song that they love or something that means to them, when we start up a song. So we always try to play songs that we think are going to sort of move the audience. Two, like I said before, our music it just lends itself to being pretty high energy. So it can be kind of chaotic sometimes. It's like the crowd is pretty crazy. There's a lot of body surfing, a lot of like mosh pits still to this day. And we have a lot of energy on stage. If anything, I feel like I have more energy now than I did when I was, in my early 20s. But I don't know. It's kind of a fun experience. Like I said, it feels more like we try to put on a show rather than just go out and play some songs.
Are you a lawn guy or do you like to be under the covered section if you were to go attend that concert? Like if you were to go see someone there, would you prefer to be on the lawn or
Oh,
down
I'm the
below?
I'm the worst concert goer. I
Why?
am like the person I absolutely hate in the audience. I want to sit in the closest, best seat possible. I don't want to stand up. I don't want to move. I don't clap. I don't do anything. I'm just there to be entertained. And I just want to like chill out because when I'm on stage, I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So when I'm in the audience, I want to act like I'm sitting at home on my couch and I just want to enjoy the show.
Pull up a stool by the
Yes.
sound guy and enjoy the show.
Yeah, yeah. Usually I like being at the front of house if I can, just like sitting by the soundboard because that's usually where it sounds best.
Mhm.
Nobody's around me. I hate that audience member. I would hate myself in the.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to meet you and good luck. I can't wait to hear the new album. Honestly, I was going to say good luck with it, but I know it's going to be great. I can't wait to hear
We hope so.
it.
Well, thank you.